Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unraveling a pretty profound theological paradox behind the absolute deepest name used for Jesus in the Bible. We're going to look closely at the title Son of Man, and specifically, we want to explore what this name truly means in God's view. It's a fascinating study of humanity, divinity, and ultimate redemption, and I'm super excited to walk you through it today. So let's just dive right into the mystery here. Why would the most powerful figure in the entire biblical narrative consistently choose the most ordinary-sounding title to describe himself? It's a wildly compelling question. We're going to explore how a phrase that sounds like an admission of pure human frailty actually houses ultimate cosmic power.
Section 1. The deepest biblical name, a bridge between two realms. To really get this, we have to look at it from God's view.
You see, in God's eyes, this title is not just some casual moniker. The title Son of Man is fundamentally dual-natured. It shows us that Jesus became fully human to save mankind. But simultaneously, he's standing as the heavenly Messiah, holding supreme authority from God. From God's perspective, this is absolutely crucial. He didn't just dispatch an angel to fix the world from the outside. He sent his own son into the dirt and grit of the world as a man to be our direct living representative.
Section 2. Fully human, fully vulnerable, carrying our weakness. Let's build on this and see just how incredibly vulnerable the Son of Man truly became.
Think about the raw, everyday realities of human existence. We're talking hunger, pain, temptation, sorrow, suffering, and ultimately, death. Jesus experienced every single one of those. Seriously, take a second to think about what that really means. By willingly subjecting himself to these deeply painful human realities, he was able to understand mankind completely. It wasn't some detached abstraction from heaven, it was a lived, felt experience. And that is exactly what allowed him to redeem mankind perfectly. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14, puts it perfectly. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. This brilliantly illustrates the sheer physical reality of his arrival. He didn't just observe humanity from afar, entirely untouched by our struggles. He took on physical flesh, and he walked right alongside us. By using the title Son of Man over and over, Jesus was sending us a very clear message. I came into your world, carrying your weakness, to lift you back to God. Just imagine the immense empathy required for that. To be completely divine, yet intentionally choose to carry human weakness on your own shoulders, all to rebuild that broken bridge to God. Now, what's really fascinating here is how the first epistle to the Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 22, perfectly contrasts the two Adams to show us the Son of Man as our ultimate representative in God's view. Where the first Adam completely failed in his obedience to God, fell into sin, and brought death, Christ, acting as the last Adam, obeyed the Father completely. He literally stood in the place of humanity to carry our sin, and in doing so, fully restored mankind. Section 3. The Prophesied Cosmic King, a Vision of Ultimate Authority. This is where our focus pivots dramatically. We have to shift our minds from viewing the Son of Man and his human weakness to recognizing his undeniable cosmic authority. In the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, we read, "One like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven." And right there is the jarring paradox. The exact same phrase representing deep human sorrow and vulnerability is pulled straight out of Daniel's ancient, breathtaking vision of the clouds of heaven. You see, in Daniel's prophecy, the Son of Man is anything but a lowly figure. He receives an eternal kingdom, immense glory, absolute authority, and worship from literally all nations. So when Jesus publicly used this title, he wasn't just claiming to be human. No way. He was actively declaring himself the promised Messiah sent from heaven. He was holding together both supreme humility, because he became man, and eternal divinity, because he rules eternally. Section 4. The perfect human sacrifice, paying the price. Let's look at exactly how these two profound natures, the fully human and fully divine, had to converge for humanity's redemption. The Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verse 45 tells us, "The Son of Man came to give his life a ransom for many." It's definitely not a coincidence that Jesus used this exact title when warning his followers about his impending suffering and crucifixion. He was highlighting his human capacity to suffer and die, serving an ultimate divine purpose. Let's walk through the strict logic of this from God's view. Step 1. Mankind sinned. Step 2. Divine justice required a payment for that sin. Step 3. Therefore, Jesus came as the perfect, sinless human sacrifice. This logic is absolutely foundational to the whole concept. Only a completely sinless Son of Man could stand in as the exact, perfect payment for a sinful mankind. An angel couldn't do it. A sinful human couldn't do it. It had to be the Son of Man.
Section 5. The Son in God's View. The Paradox Resolved. We've reached the climax of our explainer, synthesizing this grand mystery. This prophetic journey maps out a genuinely breathtaking timeline. It starts with Daniel's vision. That's the promise. Then we get the first coming, marked by incredible earthly humility. Next is the cross, representing the ultimate sacrifice. But as the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30 makes clear, the story doesn't end in humility. It culminates in the second coming, a promised return in power and great glory, finally completing the sweeping cosmic timeline. So, if we ask why the Son of Man in God's view, the answer is incredibly multi-layered. It was to come near to humanity, to become fully man without sin, to carry our sorrow and our punishment, to be the perfect sacrifice, to perfectly restore what Adam lost, and ultimately to reign as the promised heavenly king. It brings us to the ultimate synthesis. It was literally the only path to perfectly restore what had been broken. This title beautifully encompasses one profound truth: God with us, God understanding us, and God saving us through Jesus Christ. The absolute biggest takeaway from this whole explainer is that this title represents the ultimate repaired bridge. It's a picture of unyielding divine power, lovingly wrapped in total human empathy. I want to leave you with a final provocative thought as we wrap up today. If the ultimate cosmic king chose to intentionally carry our deepest, most painful weaknesses, how does that change the way we view our own? It completely reshapes our understanding of the human experience, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive into the Son of Man. Keep asking questions, keep studying, and I'll see you in the next explainer.